all the time, being very, very strong. And the manager they had seemed to be this sort of a character, got them all playing the way he wanted them to play, nothing else, this is what you do. And they adhered to that, and they went on and won it in the end. So they have got good players.
Here at the Cali Marmaro Stadium, the modern Olympic Games were revived in 1896. 30 years before that, the Greeks enjoyed their first ever proper football match, when the British Navy played a bunch of locals in Crete and lost 3-0. But it wasn't until the 1920s when football really took off in Greece. Many of the clubs were formed by refugees fleeing the catastrophe in Asia Minor.
Something that really interests me is the number of teams which relate back to the refugees from what the Greeks call the catastrophe, which was the 1922 exchange of populations between Greece and Turkey. Having had a war together, they then decided to exchange them. So Christians from Turkey who were called Greeks, they often couldn't even speak very much Greek, were sent 1 million of them to Greece, 1 million in a population which was 4 million at that point. So you can imagine these people arriving on boats, having left everything behind. They suddenly were with nothing and living in tents, if they were lucky, in Greece, and then huts after that. So out of those sort of disasters and ashes, really, of their way of life, they started playing football.
In the daily changing of the guard, the fiercely proud Greeks prefer to recall more glorious episodes in their history. The soldier's skirt has 400 pleats, each one representing a year of Turkish occupation. And when they're not doing this, they're ironing.
May I have your medal first?
Can't help noticing the Greeks like to argue, whether it's ancient philosophers, football fans, or military fusspots. And it's not that long ago, a bunch of plane spotters were jailed for looking at the wrong planes. I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here. Having untangled myself from the red tape, I'm on my way to Piraeus. Millions of tourists flock to Piraeus every year, but few linger. No, they scramble onto ferries as quickly as they can and clear off to the Greek islands. Is there any difference at all between Athens and Piraeus?
If you asked each group, they would say definitely yes.
Olympiacos, on the one hand, started as a team in Piraeus, so that was very much an area where it was working class, there were the dock workers, it was poor, it was definitely a sort of proletarian and left-wing kind of area, whereas Panathinaikos was much more seen always as a kind of urban, maybe bourgeois kind of central Athens team.
This is Piraeus, a city within a city and the most important port in the whole of Greece. It is home to the biggest merchant fleet in the world and, of course, to Olympiacos. On a surprisingly nippy morning in Athens, I'm here at the mightily impressive training facilities of Olympiacos. And the players are just arriving now, and I'm going to go down and have a closer look at them because I'm that sort of guy.
Hello, good morning.
All good?
Yes.
Hello, how
nice
are you?
to meet you.
Ardal,
How are
very
you?
nice to meet you. Thank you very much for talking to us. We haven't seen the library yet.
The library?
Yeah, I'd like to see the library. What sort of books do the players read?
I suppose comics.
Olympiacos is not just a football club.
No, we have in basketball, we have volleyball, polo, track and field events, and many successes.
Really?
In these,
What about chess?
yes,
Really?
I think also chess.
Don't know about chess, but Greece are the current European champions in both football and basketball, a sport that's almost as popular here as football. It's no surprise in this sports-crazed country that the sports press are so powerful.
There are 9 sports papers. 6 of them, they are affiliated to certain teams. And 3 of them, they are, they are neutral papers. One of them is this one, Sports Day. The paper, is covering every sport. It's covering soccer, but it's covering basketball, volleyball, polo, any sport that's taking place in Greece, any event. And an event is taking place in Europe, in particular soccer.
Managed by the canny, much-travelled Norwegian Trond Solid, Olympiacos, who are cocooned here in their lavish training facilities, are hot favourites to win the derby and the league.
Here we can see one room. Every player has one room like that.
And what did they use this room for? A little snooze after training?
Yes, they can use it after training, and sometimes before big matches, instead of going to hotels, they stay here.
Wow. They're really taking it easy down there, aren't they?
So what players should we look out for this Sunday?
You've got the old warhorse Predrag Djordjevic, who's from Serbia. He will be at the World Cup, injuries notwithstanding. He's about 33 now. He's been with Olympiacos a long time and still ploughs up and down the left touchline, and he's a creator, and also I think he's top goal scorer in the league at the moment as well. Of course, you've also got Antonis Nikopolidis, who's the Greece goalkeeper. You probably remember him during Euro 2004. He got dubbed George Clooney by many people. I have no idea why, because he doesn't look anything like George Clooney.
Possibly the most familiar player in the Olympiacos setup is Rivaldo from Brazil. World Player of the Year, World Cup winner indeed. He's not here today because he's injured. Now, I thought he might speak to us if he was here, because, true story, I was in Lisbon one time just before an Ireland World Cup qualifier, and I was in a queue for a taxi, and I was right beside Rivaldo with his family. Now, Rivaldo's daughter dropped her blanket on the ground, and I picked it up and handed it back to him, and he smiled at me. So I was sure he'd speak to me, but none of the players will speak because they're very nervous. It's a big match coming up at the weekend, and they have to concentrate the mind. But lo, what's this? An hour later, I spot the familiar bandy-legged gait of Rivaldo himself, and hope he remembers the blanket incident in Lisbon. Morning, Rivaldo. Buenos dias. Buen dia. Ah, maybe not. Anyway, the important thing is he might be fit for Sunday. God, I can't wait.
Uh-oh, looks like the first signs of orange peel skin. New Nivea Body Sculpting and Smoothing Cream Q10 Plus with active isoproteins lifts and firms, bringing your skin back into shape. New Nivea Body Sculpting and Smoothing Cream. Feel every bit gorgeous.
This Saturday's jackpot is over €6 million. It could be you.
They say that staying in is the new going out. Not really surprising for anyone who's discovered the pleasure of cooking with Mila. Mila. Anything less is a compromise.
Want ocean fresh skin? Now you can.
New Nivea Visage Young Wash Off Cleansing Gel with pure ocean minerals. Part of a new face care range specially for young skin. Get more than just fresh skin. Get ocean fresh skin. Only from Nivea Visage Young.